Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. We are going to look at some GameStop technical analysis, some SPY TA. Is GameStop really about to rally, or is this just a little false breakout, as they do, to feed the premiums and the options chain? Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, you're more than welcome. It's at HappyMoneyYT. And we have a Discord server as well. You can jump on, flex all your gains and losses. Yeah, nice little comeback from the weekend. GameStop came up. SPY to me had a false breakout. That's what this is. It's not really false though, because if you look on the longer time frame, it's bearish. We're bearish on it. But it is in a sense, because look at this MACD. It's just stupid. Just went bullish for the last 2 days with these big red candles. So dumb. So we have our bearish play on it, even though technically I would say this could be bullish, but just based on the price action and the overall trend I'm seeing of lower lows and lower highs, I'm not going to let this shake me out at this point. But yeah, big sell-off today on SPY. Really just a big, kind of a pretty big range, from starting with that massive hourly green candle, just juicing up SPY, and then dropping below VWAP. Not really any real news. I think jobs report was bad. I mean, there could be, call it whatever you want. And then into close, just way down here, oversold. So we've got bearish plays on SPY. I'm just selling premium on it, not trying to buy into any premium. Too difficult to time the moves at this point. So yeah, that play I think will be good. GameStop, kind of the same deal. Seems like it likes to they're just gassing it and then just shutting it off, and maybe covering some here and then opening up more shorts, and just, yeah. So it hasn't really been free. This thing hasn't been free since let's see, that's June. Yeah, really this run. Yeah, and then it got shut off up here, of course. But this little thing, that was ridiculous. And even these days, like, we have these big rally days and then just a melt off. Everything's bearish still on the TA, but the thing just keeps going up. So conflicting, but overall it's coming down, and then we end up seeing that in hindsight. And I'm wondering if that's what this is. I don't think so, but I don't want to go too quick with my assumptions. Definitely earlier today I thought there's no way, this thing's rallying, we're going crazy, and then it was even looking good, staying above VWAP, building a nice bull flag, and this still could be a bull flag, I'd say. On the hourly, it's still bullish on the MACD. Typically, I think a retractment of over 50% is probably not as strong of a bull flag, but GME is computers literally fighting with people, so they program the computers to mess with our heads, and it works. But yeah, we broke resistances today, so it does look really good. I'm a little sour. I screwed up today, but it does look really good. We saw this coming. We had the RSI divergence here, the MACD divergence from this 9:30 and this 10:06. These two dates. Saw it diverging, saw we're gonna rally. I wasn't expecting this big of a rally yet, really. But overall, it actually wasn't big, only up 3% today. They just add in a bunch of volatility to jack those premiums. Premiums swung 400, 500%, some of them I bet today, from the top of that rally to just the slow melt off all the rest of the day. I'd say some premiums went down 400%. But yeah, actually it is good. Like we saw it coming, also not with just the divergence, but these dojis, all these doji candles and small bodies is significant of a floor and reversal. So we're still seeing that. And then with today, it's really just a lot more confirmation of that. MACD hasn't turned bullish, but that doesn't mean it can't tomorrow or even the next day with some moves. On the hourly, again, it looks nice. The fact that we broke this resistance in the morning, I was like, wow, okay, that's big. And then volume really came in. We had on this hourly candle what was that? This was almost 1 million just on that one candle. And then we broke that, the top of that little volatility wick. And the fact that we had hourly candles, I think, close up there, and we kind of set this move up there was good. And then we had this long sell-off during the day. So I think even, yeah, let's see. And then I think it's still good. I think we're stepping up. I think we are stepping up. I don't know if the next couple days will be as big and volatile as this. They might be big. We might be at 210 tomorrow or higher, but it's possible that it's not. And it's kind of one of these other moves where they just juice it and then step back like they did this day, just with big wicks, and then it just kind of melted off. Or even this day where it's a big daily candle. Look at how big this move was. This was 180 open to close to almost 200, basically 199. And then next day retraced, 40% of it and then up a bit. It was good, it was climbing, but it was such a slow climb. It's not really something you can mess with the options, because by the time you have all this IV juiced into the options, these days you're just going to crush your premium, more or less. I mean, I suppose if you're in the money, or if you're selling premium, then yeah, it works. But yeah, I mean, same kind of thing right here. Big day and then just slow grind up. So this day, it doesn't remind me as much anymore, but earlier when it was a more full-bodied candle, it kind of reminded me back here in February. Because if you look, I mean, this happened over a longer time frame, but we had all these small-bodied, low-volume candles setting up for this rally in February. A little bit different, but I mean, this daily candle was bigger. But it did kind of remind me of that. If you look here, we're looking at these small bodied candles, and then today, I thought today was going to close higher with what it did, but it did end up shutting off. And yeah, tomorrow could be good, but it might just be kind of a slow melt up a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like, this is bull flag, short term looks good. I'd like this MACD to cross bullish. I really would. That's the only thing that shakes me out. Even after all these days, end up being a nothing, just because, we hadn't crossed over, stayed bearish, and then finally came through with the price action. So hopefully tomorrow is good. I set up plays. Let's go over the options. I timed it wrong today. I was lacking in patience and probably got a little greedy. And so basically what I was seeing and what I was expecting, I thought today and tomorrow probably somewhat good price action, kind of like these days, maybe a little bit better, a little more fuller body candles, but more or less consolidation to the upside. And then I saw resistances today. So I saw that we had kind of this resistance at 175, and then didn't expect it to, but we had, of course, this candle, this wick way up here at 185. But we opened up. I'm just gonna go through, show you guys what I was seeing in my head. So when I try and time the bottom and the top, yeah, if I nail it, it's great. I get the whole move. But to be consistent, you just can't go for that, because you won't get it all the time. When you don't, it hurts. And the longer you can trade a certain strategy that's successful, then the better, the longer you're going to last, and the better results you're going to have in the long term. People might have a good strategy that lasts for like a month, and then they just blow up an account. So how long your strategy lasts, how long you've been trading and not blowing up your account, how long you've been able to, fight the fight. That's why I think that's kind of where this comes from, by not trying to get the bottom and the top and playing the momentum. It's somewhat difficult options because the IV just changes so much once the momentum changes, but you can still make money on momentum moves. What we had here though this morning when we opened up, so let's see, right here, opened up a little bit, and then on the 5-minute charts, the one I'm mostly watching in the morning. As time plays out, I'll expand it to an hour and look at the daily sum. But yeah, pretty much opened up and just rallied. I was like, okay, great. Immediately we're overbought in the RSI, so I thought about it at that point. I was like, I could sell a call there, but I was like, I'll wait till it kind of shows signs of reversal, which is typically what I would do if I was trying to go short. Big down one, I'm like, okay, whatever. It still hasn't really reversed. None of my indicators showing reverse. And then yeah, I was confirmed. Okay, another big candle kind of holding up. I'm like, all right, great. Still waiting. And then it just kind of keeps grinding up. I'm like, oh wow, this is good. I don't have any long position. I mean, I have long, but I don't have naked options long. I've got a put credit spread on it, so that's doing well, of course. I don't have any naked calls though, so it's, you know, I'm not even really, whatever. I wouldn't be buying those anyways right here, and that's part of my strategy. I don't buy it when it's expensive or overbought. And today wasn't a move that really could work for my strategy. I would have to basically throw out the rules. And again, that's the consistency thing that I'm saying. So anyways, stayed overbought here and just kind of kept grinding up. I'm like, oh, okay, wow. So I'm missing this move, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. This is good for the premium on the calls. I'll sell calls and catch it on the way back down like it does. And this is also right near that resistance, so that's why it kind of slowed down there. That resistance that we saw. Hold on, I'll go to hourly real quick. Break down the psychological that I was doing today. So our resistance was like here. That was kind of what I was seeing. I was like, all right, this 179, 180, whatever. So we get close to it, and it kind of shows weakness. And I'm like, okay, so it's not going to. Looks like we're not going to break that. We have good volume here, but then volume starting to taper, starting to come down. So I short 8 calls. I sell 8 covered calls here, right here, literally, like on this candle. We're still above VWAP. I mean, everything looks good, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to time the top. See, I'm not waiting for momentum. I'm not waiting for my red candles under the 9 moving average. I'm not waiting for something else. There's kind of an RSI divergence here, but not really a strong one. So anyways, I'm right here. I sell a covered call, and I sell 8 of them. And then that next 5-minute candle comes in. Look at that volume. This thing was insane. Couldn't believe it. I mean, it literally went here, and then I was like, oh shoot, this thing's gonna pop. Broke that resistance, ripped. So at this point, cover calls are down like 120%. So basically I should have just been on the other side of the trade. So for 8 of them, it was down like, I don't know, I think like 1,500. And then that next candle, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, so this point, my strategy is working in the fact that I'm not FOMOing in and out. I'm just holding. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hold it. These were 190 calls. Max pain this week is 180, I think. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hold it. And the thing just keeps rallying. RSI stayed overbought though, so I'm like, I'm not buying these calls back. I'm holding them. This thing keeps rallying. I'm down, I think at the very top here, I think it was down like 250 or 300%. So like 4 or 5 grand. Just on cover calls, I sold like 20 minutes earlier. Kind of the same deal when you top ticket and you buy them and then just plummets them, which is what would happen if you did it here, right here, unfortunately. But yeah, so held it through here, and then it started to settle down, and I'm actually getting stoked. I'm like, all right, some IV's coming out. I want to go long on this thing, but I'm waiting for a better entry because I want everything to be cooled down. And at that point on the hourly, even, it was getting a little bit high for me. So it's hard to tell like this, but yeah, see, it was still pretty high on the hourly. So anyways, I was waiting, and it was just building up this nice, super nice looking bull flag, especially on the longer frame, staying above the VWAP. MACD did cross bearish. Sometimes that happens though, just when it's kind of consolidating and it's coming down from the RSI. So I wasn't holding a whole lot of weight with that when it was especially building up this nice bull flag. So I actually bought back those covered calls, bought them back like right here. I was down, I think like 100% on them. So maybe I ate like 2,000 on that in losses, something like that. Which sucked, but I'm like, I want exposure for the upside. So did it, and thing just kept consolidating. I think I did it here because the big candle, the volume was increasing. Sorry, I got to turn down the yas a little bit. Volume was increasing here, and I saw a big green candle, and this was a bit of FOMO for sure. This was rushed. There was no signs that it was breaking out. The problem is once it breaks out, the IV on those was going to be crazy. So trying to time it a little bit too much. Even though my MACD was still bearish, should have waited. Consolidate, and then it comes down here. I'm like, wow, I should have waited. But all this time I didn't buy any calls. I didn't go long. Or did I? Actually, I might have actually. Yeah, about this time I waited to actually buy calls until like here. So I bought calls. We'll go over those. And then down here, once it crossed over VWAP, I actually shorted calls again. So right about here, I shorted calls again, rode those down for a long time until about here, and then I closed those out. I saw a little divergence, and I was like, I gotta get out of these. So Got out of the short calls, thing kept selling off. Not a whole lot of premium left there though. Most of the move was back here, from here down to here. And I did go long on calls somewhere in here, but again, there was no sign of anything on the MACD. Just that we were above VWAP, which was good, and it was building a nice bull flag. And that bull flag, like I said, that still kind of holds true. I think this week still could be huge. Just on the daily time frame for me, I feel like I was being greedy, and I was trying to squeeze too much of each side of the move. And in the morning, probably should just let this thing run, because again, my indicators wouldn't have allowed me to, if I was sticking to my rules, I wouldn't have been able to get in on this because it was just too fast. And I hardly ever buy calls in the first hour, just because the premiums are usually crazy high. So multiple reasons for that, and I should have just let this move go, and I could have sold covered calls here, maybe seen a triple top and bearish MACD and just went for it, but got excited, and so sold covered calls here too early, and then got out too early, got into long calls too early. This is all hindsight though, but for me it's good to review. Just the main thing is just patience, and if I don't have patience, it's hardly ever a good thing. Patience, you don't get the whole move, but you get the move right. Came down, and I will show you guys now where I'm at. This thing is so manipulated though. Like typically that much momentum and volume to drive the price like that would be a massive week, and in even a day it wouldn't do this. So that's where it kind of becomes challenging too with doing TA. TA works, but they just introduce so much volatility between the moves that it's hard to see sometimes overall trend. And like right now, we might be in a downward trend still, because that's what the MACD is showing. But today was a huge day, and then it came back, and then and I'm going to look at. So we're up, of course, because we have shares, but could have done a lot better today. So where are we ending up at? So I have a call debit spread. We have a 200-205 call debit spread. And since I have shares, it made 8 of those calls covered calls. So I could buy those back if we start to rally, or just leave them as a debit spread. I don't know. But I'll show you. It's probably different now, but I was kind of just looking. This thing, it seems to like that 210 call a lot. It doesn't want to go much higher than that, but all right, here's right here. So I did very bullish. I changed this around, but if by Friday we hit 213, this was basically the best return for the max return, or max risk. Yeah. So it's a 200, 210. I was like, all right, I'll look at that. So I got some of those 200, 205, I guess at that point. That's down a lot, because again, I bought this one as above VWAP, and some of those here are covered calls, which I can buy back. That's why I have these naked ones right here. So have that for Friday. That's really short term though, so not a huge position. I think it was like 600 or 700 on those. I did go big on next Friday though, and that's this. Yeah, this one. So this was 210 calls for next Friday. I got them for $3.90. They're now worth just under $2. So this one, yeah, we'll have to rally for these to come back, and we definitely could. I am hopeful. And those were only 2 long spots, long calls I have on it, or I got today. Our put credit spread, shout out the Theta gang. This is working nicely, because it doesn't matter the volatility. As long as GME stays above this price, we're good, which is 175. So this one will help pay for some of the stuff, some of my mistakes. But it can't give me back my emotions. SPY, of course, we have a call credit spread on that, which is good. SPY's coming down. So here's all the mess I did. I averaged into INI, ticker INI. It's doing well. It had a those expire. The put credit spread expires on Friday. This chart looks really nice. Premiums are really high, so I didn't just want to buy calls. I averaged in like right here. I already had a put credit spread on it, so they were up like 20%. Average into that, and this thing actually closed really nice today. So basically, this just has to stay above 7 by Friday, and then that'll work. But yeah, this is nice. We got a bullish MACD crossover. We've got this kind of ascending floor, higher lows, and yeah, it looks, I don't know, something about that. This chart reminds me of Huckleberry. Huckleberry, shout out to you, buddy. Looks like a chart that you'd like to trade. Yeah, SPY tomorrow. Donero says turnaround Tuesdays. Maybe it will be. TA wise, I mean, I guess it's a little overextended off that 9 moving average. It might creep back a little bit, maybe some consolidation, but I think we're still bearish. As long as I don't look at the daily too long and let those 2 little green histograms affect my judgment. That being said, GME is still bearish on the MACD. Can't discount though that divergence and how it looks on shorter time frames. Let's look at that 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hour looks good. 4 hour, 1 hour, they all look pretty good. So it could be one of these crazy moves like here, where bearish on the MACD, next day huge rally, still bearish on the MACD, which is crazy. And then the next day where it opens up here and closes down here, so that's when you want to get out right away. And then that was the first day it was actually bullish on this big red day. And then it just grinds up, consolidates, and then so it could be something like that coming. I'm not sure. I'm hoping there's a kind of a breakout on this wedge and we break out and we squeeze this month or next month. I am still hopeful. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for taking a journey through my brain. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. See you tomorrow. Peace out.